gasoline. At Amish farms, things happen much more slowly and quietly. There are no machines flipping the earth, no struggling with packed soil, and no backaches after every gardening session. These Amish grandmas have different secrets. Today, we're going back to Lancaster County to discover 25 Amish gardening tips that will help you build a garden full of life without ever having to dig the soil. The philosophy of no-dig gardening. The foundation of the Amish gardening philosophy begins with acknowledging that the soil is a very complex living entity, not just dirt under our feet. They believe that each time we use a tiller to flip the ground, we are performing a rough surgery on a delicate biological network of billions of microorganisms and mycorrhizal fungi, what is considered nature's internet, that helps transport nutrients to plant roots. Instead of destroying this structure, the no-dig method keeps the soil in its most intact state, allowing weed roots to decompose naturally and become a food source deep within the earth. The Amish use light-blocking layers like cardboard and thick organic compost to smother weeds right from the surface. This approach brings amazing results as the soil structure is fully protected, helping the ground hold moisture like a giant sponge. Real-world results show that no-dig garden patches can absorb water up to 300% better than beds that are constantly tilled, helping plants grow strong even during long, dry spells. That is the spirit of Gelassenheit in Amish gardening, a way of living slowly, accepting, and being in harmony with nature. And that philosophy will guide all the gardening methods we're about to explore right now. Again, top dressing with organic fertilizer. In no-dig farming, top dressing with organic fertilizer is considered the most humane and effective way to nourish the soil. Amish grandmas simply spread a layer of well-rotted manure 2.5 to 5 centimeters thick directly onto the surface of the bed. They let nature do the rest of the work. Rainwater will slowly dissolve the nutrients and carry them deep into the root zone, while earthworms will work hard to pull organic bits down into the ground. This surface feeding method perfectly mimics how the forest floor nourishes itself over thousands of years. You will notice the soil color under the fertilizer layer becoming darker, looser, and more full of life after each application. This not only saves the effort of digging, but also ensures a steady and stable nutrient supply for the plants. The positive change in soil structure over the years is the best proof of building fertility from the top down in a sustainable way without the need for machinery. Cover cropping. Bare soil is dying soil, which is why the Amish never let their garden soil rest in a bare state. During the off-seasons between main crops, grandmas will sow special cover crops to protect and build up the soil. Red clover is often chosen to fix nitrogen from the air into the soil, while daikon radishes with their powerful taproots can reach as deep as 45 centimeters to break up packed soil layers naturally. These types of plants act as real biological tillers, loosening the soil from deep within the earth without causing any disturbance to the surface. Compared to leaving soil bare where it can be eroded by rain and dried out by the sun, planting cover crops keeps the biological network active and effectively blocks weeds from moving in. When the new season arrives, these cover crops become an excellent source of green manure right on the spot, returning precious nutrients to the soil that they have accumulated. This is a smart farming cycle that keeps the garden ready and fertile without requiring any rough mechanical impact from humans. The chop and drop technique. In the Amish grandma's garden, nothing is pulled out in a hurry. When cover crops or support plants have finished their job, grandma doesn't pull them out by the roots. She just uses a sickle to cut them close to the ground, then lets everything lie right where it grew. The lush green stems and leaves are spread right there to act as a protective mulch for the ground, while the roots are left intact in the soil to decompose on their own. As the roots rot, they leave behind thousands of tiny air tubes and natural water channels, helping the soil become airy without needing a tiller. Tilling green manure into the soil in the modern way often disturbs earthworm paths and loses precious nitrogen. But the chop and drop technique keeps all those values in the gentlest way. You can feel the softness of this new mulch as you walk through the garden, a nutrient-rich cushion that will gradually turn into fertile soil under the influence of microbes. Nurturing earthworms. If there's no mechanical interference to till the soil, earthworms will do it instead. That's why nurturing these silent warriors to thrive is a key factor in keeping the land fertile. In the Amish grandma's garden, she creates conditions for worms to multiply by covering the soil with organic layers like dry straw, rotted leaves, and compost. Worms will pull these scraps deep below, digest them, and excrete nutrient-rich worm castings, one of the best natural fertilizers for plants. Worm castings not only provide nutrients in the easiest form for plants to absorb, but also help improve soil structure and increase natural disease resistance much better than chemical fertilizers. Having a mini fertilizer factory right in the corner of the garden helps the Amish be completely self-sufficient with plant nutrients at no cost. As worms move, they also create a series of small tunnels that help the soil breathe, increase water absorption, and bring oxygen down to the roots. Thanks to that, the soil is always soft, damp, and full of life without needing a tiller. Keeping worms in the soil is also keeping the foundation for a healthy and sustainable garden. Rusty nails in water for iron-deficient plants. In a no-dig garden, the soil's natural structure is kept intact. However, plants can still sometimes show signs of yellowing leaves, especially due to iron deficiency, an important trace element for forming chlorophyll. Since they don't dig or mix fertilizer deep into the ground, the Amish grandma needs a way to add nutrients while still keeping the garden bed structure the same. Her solution is very simple. Use rusty nails. She soaks a handful of old nails in a bucket of water for 1 to 2 days to create a light brown solution containing dissolved iron. This water is used to water the base of sensitive plants like hydrangeas, roses, or citrus trees every 15 days. The iron oxide dissolved in the water will be quickly absorbed by the roots, helping the plant recreate chlorophyll and get back its deep green color full of life energy. After just a few waterings, the young leaves gradually turn green again. That is how she handles yellowing leaves while still perfectly protecting the ecosystem of the no-dig garden. Scattering hair around the garden. Collecting fallen hair to scatter around the garden might sound strange, but for the Amish, this is a source of sustainable nitrogen and a very effective barrier to stop animals from raiding the garden. Human hair contains a large amount of protein and organic nitrogen, which will decompose very slowly in the soil to provide long-term nutrients for plants over many seasons. More than that, the characteristic human scent left on the hair is a powerful warning signal to wild animals like rabbits or deer. Just by scattering a bit of hair around the base of plants or along the garden border, you have an invisible scent fence, protecting your crops without needing toxic pesticides or bulky mechanical barriers. This way helps maintain the quiet and natural beauty of the garden while improving soil health at no cost. It is a wise combination of recycling organic material and understanding animal behavior, making farming lighter and more in harmony with the surrounding nature. Old newspaper layers. In the no-dig gardening method, the goal is not just to block weeds, but also to feed the soil from the top down, instead of flipping everything up. One of the simple but effective ways Amish grandmas often use is making use of old newspapers to create a biological mulch for the ground. Grandma lays many layers of newspaper directly over the area that needs weed control, then soaks it with plenty of water so the paper hugs the soil surface. On top, she adds a thin layer of mulch, dry straw, or compost. This covering keeps the newspaper from being blown away by the wind and helps the garden look neater. Unlike plastic tarps, newspaper allows rainwater and air to seep through so the soil doesn't get stuffy or suffocated. Meanwhile, weed seeds below are blocked from light and cannot sprout. Over time, the newspaper begins to decompose, becoming a food source for earthworms and microbes. They will be the ones to pull the rotted paper bits deeper, mixing them with the soil and creating a new nutrient-rich mulch layer. Because of this, even without digging or mixing fertilizer deep into the earth, the garden is still regularly supplemented with organic matter from the top down. The soil becomes loose, holds moisture better, and becomes increasingly fertile with each season. Are these secrets from the simple life of the Amish interesting? If you love this nostalgic storytelling and want to discover more traditional gardening values, hit the like and subscribe buttons for the channel right now. Fertilizer from raw rice. Using raw rice to restore the soil ecosystem is an ancient secret trusted by the Amish to suppress harmful fungi. They sprinkle a handful of rice around the base of the plant and cover it with a thin layer of soil or mulch so the grains decompose gradually. As the rice rots, it promotes the growth of a specific system of microbes and beneficial fungi, which have a strong ability to fight off root rot pathogens. Instead of using chemical fungicides that often kill beneficial microbes too, this little tip helps restore the natural biological balance of the garden soil. You will notice plant roots growing more strongly, holding deeper and more firmly in the no-dig soil, thanks to the improved living environment. This is a miraculous recovery medicine for plants that are losing their vitality, helping them regain their green color and growth ability in a sustainable way without any rough impact on the soil structure. Sowing seeds in eggshells. In the cozy kitchens of Amish grandmas, where the smell of baking bread always fills the air, nothing is considered waste, including the eggshells after a family breakfast. Instead of throwing them away, they carefully keep every shell piece, clean them, and turn them into cute little seed-starting pots filled with natural calcium. Sowing seeds in eggshells is not only a money-saving tip, but also a way for grandmas to protect the delicate young roots from shock when moving them to the garden. When the seedlings are sturdy, the grandmas just need to squeeze the shell lightly to crack it and then place the whole block into the no-dig soil bed. The eggshell will slowly decompose, providing a rich amount of calcium to help plant cell walls become strong and better at resisting pests and diseases. This method is completely gentle, requiring no deep holes or disturbing the stable soil structure, giving the plants a solid start right from the heart of the family kitchen heritage. Seeing the green sprouts rise from the pure white shells in the early sun, we clearly see an understanding of the nutrient cycle without the need for any chemical fertilizers. This is how grandmas teach us that new life can start from the simplest things, right on the surface of the peaceful Mother Earth. Sheet mulching, the lasagna method. Grandma often compares preparing a new garden bed to preparing a giant lasagna for a family dinner where patience creates perfect flavor. Instead of using a tiller to flip the ground, Amish grandmas start by flattening weeds and covering them with old water-soaked cardboard sheets to block out the sun. Next is a clever layering between green materials rich in nitrogen like fresh compost and brown layers rich in carbon from straw or rotted dry leaves. Under the weight of time and the non-stop activity of billions of microbes, these layers decompose on their own, creating a layer of black, fine, and miraculously loose soil without needing a single stroke of a hoe. The effectiveness of this method lies in burying weed seeds deep under biological pressure, causing them to rot into nutrients instead of being flipped to the surface to sprout like traditional tilling. After a few months, the garden bed will be ready for planting in a state of absolute richness and cleanliness. The feeling of placing your hand on this soft, cool, caked layer of soil brings a strong belief in nature's regenerative power when humans know how to follow its inherent order. Creating and maintaining garden edges, edging. To keep the no-dig garden always neat and avoid weed invasion, Amish grandmas focus on creating clear boundaries, just as they maintain order in their own homes. Right from the start of building a bed, they use cardboard at the edges to establish a physical barrier to stop weed roots from crawling inside. Maintaining these garden edges is a meticulous ritual that grandmas often do in the early morning when dew still sits on the leaves. Periodically, they will use a half-moon shovel to cut a thin slice along the edge of the bed, removing any weed sprout that intends to cross the fence and invade the clean soil. Compared to having to plow the entire plot every year to kill weeds, this gentle trimming action helps maintain a stable structure for the soil and keeps the garden beds standing out against the green grass of the paths. The sharpness of the borders not only brings a nostalgic beauty to the garden, but is also a way to protect the results of nature-friendly farming. These neat garden edges are proof of dedicated care, helping the gardener save countless hours of hard weeding while still keeping peace for the underground ecosystem. Growing mushrooms with cardboard. Not everything that can be grown needs soil, and mushrooms are the clearest example, and that is how Amish grandmas use cardboard sheets in damp, dark corners. Mushrooms are nature's most talented decomposition experts, and instead of throwing away paper cardboard, Grandma turns them into a medium for growing food. Cardboard layers are dampened with clean water, then mushroom spores are sprinkled in between and stacked in wooden boxes placed in dark windless spots. The mushrooms will start to grow by secreting powerful enzymes to break down the wood fibers in the paper, creating delicious and nutrient-rich clusters of mushrooms. This method requires no soil or sunlight at all, making the most of extra spaces and discarded materials on the farm. Compared to the effort of clearing or tilling soil to grow things outdoors, raising mushrooms indoors brings a steady food source with almost zero cost. A little secret tip from the grandmas: if you have coffee grounds, mix them into the soil. Mushrooms absolutely love the nitrogen in coffee grounds, which is a great way to revive kitchen trash into a free food source. Do you own a garden full of memories? Tell me about your favorite type of plant and the memories tied to it in the comments below. Growing vertical potatoes, 3 times the yield. Planting potatoes. The Amish way is a completely different experience, where you never need to use a hoe to arduously mound the rows. They place seed potatoes directly on the cleared ground, then cover them with a layer of straw or dry leaves about 2 handspans thick. As the green sprouts begin to rise above the mulch, they continue to pile more straw around the plant stem. This method forces the potato plant to grow a longer stem and form tubers at many different levels along the stem within the loose mulch. The result is a yield that can be 3 times higher than the traditional method of burying them in the dirt, because the tubers have plenty of room to grow without being hindered by packed soil. When harvest season comes, the most interesting feeling is simply using your hands to brush the straw aside to pick up clean, smooth potatoes without worrying about them being nicked by a hoe blade. The soil beneath the straw after a season also becomes remarkably loose thanks to the non-stop activity of microbes and earthworms, ready for the next crops without ever needing to be tilled. Deep mulching. The deep mulching technique is how the Amish mimic the thick carpet of decay usually found under old trees in ancient forests. As soon as the first warm rays of spring sun warm the ground, Grandma starts spreading a layer of organic material 10 to 15 centimeters thick, consisting of straw, chopped leaves, or wood chips over the entire garden bed. This thick mulch acts like a sturdy shield, completely blocking sunlight from reaching weed seeds, causing them to suffocate before they can even sprout. This is completely different from a tiller, which can only clear the surface for about 2 short weeks before thousands of new seeds rise up from the disturbed earth. Beneath this mulch, a vibrant biological world is established. Soil temperature is kept steady, creating an ideal environment for earthworms and microbes to work hard at loosening the soil for you. The feeling of touching the cool mulch and smelling the fresh scent of decaying straw is the best proof of an ecosystem that is feeding itself. Using cardboard to kill weeds. Amish grandmas see old pieces of cardboard as a precious gift for dealing with areas full of crabgrass or the most stubborn weeds. Instead of straining to use a hoe or shovel to pull up every root, a job that often hurts the soil and accidentally encourages weeds to grow back even stronger, they choose a much easier and more effective way. Cardboard sheets are laid flat over the area to be farmed, overlapping the edges by at least 15 centimeters to make sure no gap allows light through. After being soaked with plenty of water so the cardboard softens and hugs the ground, a thick layer of compost is poured on top to hold it in place and speed up decomposition. Under that absolute darkness, weeds gradually lose their strength and give up, leaving their roots to rot naturally and turn into a precious organic source. The presence of decaying cardboard is also an attractive invitation for earthworms. These talented engineers will come to digest the paper and dig tiny air tunnels, helping the soil become miraculously loose. This method brings absolute cleanliness to the garden for almost no cost, allowing you to start a new planting bed right on top of the old grass without needing any heavy tillers. Composting kitchen waste in pottery jars. Making the most of every source of organic kitchen waste has become a special part of the self-sufficient Amish lifestyle. That's why you'll see that Grandma never throws away vegetable scraps or fruit peels. She turns them into black gold through pottery jars with holes that are buried deep in the ground. This creates a direct decomposition cycle right at the root zone of the plants. Kitchen waste is layered with dry leaves and a bit of compost tea to encourage microbial activity. As decomposition happens, nutrients and moisture from the pottery jar slowly seep through the holes into the surrounding soil, creating a slightly damp and nutrient-rich area. This is much more effective than digging up the soil to apply base fertilizer the traditional way, because plant roots will automatically find this nutrient source while the surface soil structure remains intact and undisturbed. Furthermore, this method helps regulate moisture for the garden, reducing the need for surface watering, which can sometimes pack the soil down. Using organic waste to return and nourish the place where it was born, bringing nature back to care for nature, is how the Amish have gardened for 300 years. Are you interested in this no-dig gardening method? If so, hit hype, and let's keep exploring more. Microbial inoculation from forest soil. A small handful of soil from healthy ancient forests can bring the life of an entire ancient ecosystem right to your backyard vegetable bed through the technique of microbial inoculation. Amish grandmas will go into the woods looking for the base of old trees where fallen leaves have rotted to create a dark, loose soil with a characteristic scent of yeast. By simply collecting a few handfuls of this soil and lightly sprinkling it over their garden beds, they bring billions of symbiotic fungi and beneficial bacteria home to reset the biological communication network underground. This is completely different from a tiller, which often makes the soil sterile by destroying microbial populations. This technique builds up and revives the biological activity of the soil. These microorganisms will quickly multiply, helping to break down organic matter and helping plant roots absorb nutrients many times more effectively. The soil structure will gradually change, becoming darker and richer in humus after just one season, thanks to the presence of native biological communities. This is not just a gardening technique, but also a spiritual connection between humans and the great forest, bringing perfect balance to the ecosystem of the small garden. Using a broad fork, long-handled trident for aeration. In cases where the soil has become overly packed after years of wrong farming methods, the Amish don't choose a tiller. They trust the broad fork, a powerful manual tool. With steel tines about 35 centimeters long, this long-handled trident allows the farmer to use their body weight to drive it deep into the ground. Instead of flipping or turning over the soil layers like a mechanical tiller, you only need to gently rock the handles toward you to make the ground crack and become looser. This action opens up channels for air and water deep into the lower soil layers without destroying the biological glue and fungal networks that have taken many years to form. The fact that tillers often create a layer of hard pan at a certain depth is a disaster for plant roots, but the broad fork helps break that barrier gently. You can hear the slight cracking of the earth as air holes are formed, a sound that signals the revival of the living space underground. This is a gentle investment in the long-term health of the soil, helping roots easily reach deep to find groundwater and nutrients without any resistance. Companion planting. Companion planting. Amish grandmas protect their vegetables not with toxic chemical pesticides, but with the scent and presence of powerful companion plants. Clusters of bright marigolds are planted sporadically to drive away root-damaging nematodes, or lush green basil bushes are placed next to tomatoes to stop aphids and hornworms from destroying them. This strategic combination not only helps control pests naturally, but also increases the flavor of the produce, making tomatoes taste sweeter than ever. This method mimics the complexity and balance of a natural ecosystem, helping keep the underground microbial network stable and healthy in no-dig soil. Instead of tilling the soil to kill pathogens with rough mechanical measures that hurt the ground, they choose to live in harmony and make use of the biological traits of flowers and herbs. The garden is therefore not just a place that provides food, but also a space filled with fragrance and color where life is protected by respect for all living things. Each flower, each herb leaf acts as a silent sentry, keeping the garden green without needing rough human impact. Liquid organic fertilizer and wood ash. To periodically nourish the garden without affecting the delicate surface structure, Amish grandmas often use liquid organic fertilizer and wood ash from the wood stove used for winter heating. They brew batches of nutrient-rich organic tea to water directly at the base of plants, providing a plentiful amount of microorganisms for the busy underground food web. Beside that, wood ash is lightly sprinkled on the ground to provide potassium and trace minerals, helping plants become sturdy and increasing their ability to flower and fruit. These free and precious nutrient sources seep deep into the ground naturally through rainwater, nourishing the root zone without requiring any hard digging or tilling effort. Fertilizing in an easy-to-absorb form helps maintain the lasting life force for no-dig soil, ensuring plants always have access to the best quality food right in the spot. Looking at the healthy, tall vegetables after each gentle feeding, we understand that the secret to richness lies in cherishing and recycling every available energy source in farm life. This is how grandmas nourish Mother Earth with gentleness, turning the remnants of the past into life for the future. Planting by the moon cycle. The final secret in the treasure trove of Amish grandma experience is the deep connection with the rhythms of the universe through planting according to the moon cycle. They observe and choose the time to sow seeds during the waxing moon phase, when the miraculous gravitational pull of the moon helps pull water and sap upward, achieving the best germination and growth rates. This ancient wisdom teaches people how to work in harmony with natural gravitational and biological cycles, giving plants the best possible start without needing artificial stimulants. Following this natural rhythm strongly reinforces the no-dig philosophy, where humans do not try to control nature with machinery, but lean on the great power of the universe to create life. When planted at the right time, the land also seems to become more vivid, responding to human patience with bountiful and sustainable harvests. This is the perfect piece to finish the journey of caring for Mother Earth, bringing peace and belief in the eternal order of the natural world. Those Amish grandmas have passed down to us not just gardening techniques, but a way to live more slowly, to listen to and understand the breath of the earth and sky.
Looking back at the lush and fruit-laden garden patches of the Amish, we realize a deep lesson that sometimes doing less achieves more.
Using wood chip paths. The paths between the Amish garden beds are often covered with a thick layer of well-rotted wood chips, bringing a soft feeling under the feet and the fresh scent of forest wood to the air. Grandmas understand that this mulch not only keeps boots clean after spring rains, but also acts as an important biological pathway for the entire garden. Beneath that wood chip layer, the network of mycorrhizal fungi grows strongly. They don't just stay in one place, but spread into the neighboring vegetable beds to support the transport of nutrients and water. Unlike bare dirt paths, which are easily packed down and become a place for weeds to live, wood chips keep the soil airy and full of biological activity. Over time, as this wood layer decomposes, it becomes a precious source of humus, building up the overall ecosystem without humans having to dig or till. Walking barefoot in this path, one can feel life sprouting right under every step, where every corner is sheltered by the philosophy of Gelassenheit, following the natural order. This is a practical approach that connects the garden beds into a single, sustainable, and energy-filled unit. Succession planting. Succession. The philosophy of Amish grandmas is to never let Mother Earth lie bare under the harsh sun, because they understand that bare soil is soil losing its life force. As soon as a bunch of lettuce is picked for lunch, the grandmas have beet or bean seedlings ready to be placed right in that spot. This rhythmic succession planting process helps make the most of the remaining nutrients in the mulch layer and keeps the soil always covered by fresh green leaves. Keeping plant roots always holding deep in the ground ensures the microbial network's activity is not interrupted, while absolutely blocking any chance for weed seeds to sprout in empty spots. Compared to harvesting and then letting the soil rest to wait for tilling in the modern way, succession planting keeps the garden always in an energy-filled state and gives continuous harvests all year round. The feeling of seeing new sprouts rising right next to recently harvested stumps brings a sense of security about the richness and sustainable self-regeneration of the no-dig land. This is the art of using time and space to nourish continuous life without hurting the ground. Intercropping. In the Amish grandma's garden, biodiversity is celebrated through the wise art of intercropping, where every plant species has a companion. The most familiar image is the legendary Three Sisters model. Corn rises high to act as a climbing frame, climbing beans hold on to fix precious nitrogen for the soil, and squash crawls on the ground with large leaves to help provide shade and keep moisture. This mutual support creates a perfect symbiotic ecosystem, helping to maximize yields on the same area without needing chemicals or machinery. Intercropping protects the no-dig soil structure from erosion and builds natural fertility through the diversity of root systems. Compared to monoculture, which quickly depletes the soil and needs constant plowing for fertilizer, intercropping builds up the humus layer gently and sustainably. Looking at the brilliant garden with all the different layers of leaves, we see a picture of wonderful harmony where nature cares for itself under the gentle guidance of humans. That is a lesson in the unity of plants, bringing high yields while still preserving the integrity of the homeland. Sweet potato vines. This plant is a perfect example of nature's versatile power, where one plant can beautify, protect the soil, and provide plenty of food. In warm areas, sweet potatoes aren't just annuals. They are true perennials. Grandma used to call them the triple power plant because they are so useful. The vines crawl over the ground like a green carpet, helping to stop weeds and keep the soil wonderfully moist. Under that carpet, the starchy tubers are quietly storing energy, while above, the fresh green leaves are a nutrient-rich vegetable, even more full of vitamins than spinach. Grandma had a simple but effective tip. When harvesting the tubers, she always left a small cutting or a few little tubers in the ground. With just a bit of rain, the plant would grow back strongly, even if the soil was tired after a long season. To make the most of space and nutrients, she often grew sweet potatoes alongside beans or corn, creating a system of shade and mutual support. Sweet potatoes are drought-tolerant and extremely resilient, proof that planting once can give you a double harvest of both tubers and leaves forever. To Grandma, every sweet potato root was a promise of self-reliance and long-term food security for the whole family, dividing clumps for endless artichoke. Artichoke always has the beauty of an aristocratic vegetable with its majestic large leaves and powerful flower buds. Historically, this is a plant that fed monks in medieval monasteries for centuries thanks to its hardy perennial nature. My grandmother saw growing artichokes as an art of sharing and rebirth. Once the plant is settled, each summer a single root can provide up to 12 nutritious buds. However, the secret to having eternal artichokes lies in the clump splitting technique. After about 8 years, when the plant shows signs of slowing down, she would dig up the base and skillfully separate the roots into small shoots called offsets. Replanting these offsets helps reset the plant's internal clock, allowing the production cycle to start over even healthier than before. Garden science also notes this is the most effective way to maintain endless yields from just one initial investment. To help the plant grow its best, Grandma always used plenty of organic matter and compost, keeping the soil loose and well-drained, just the way artichokes like it. Artichoke buds aren't just a high-end food, they're also a wonderful remedy for detoxing the liver and helping digestion. If you also love the taste of artichoke tea, keep this plant going as long as you can so your children or grandchildren can still enjoy these fragrant drops. Tree collards. Tree collards are a true treasure that Grandma always gave a big space to in the garden. Unlike regular kale that dies off after one season, tree collards grow tall and sturdy like a large bush, staying green all year round. Its flavor is smooth and less bitter than kale, making it a family favorite. The amazing thing is that this perennial kale can live and provide a harvest for up to 20 years from just one planting. It's so resilient that even when the harshest frosts hit and other veggies wilt, tree collards proudly keep their green color. To keep the plant productive, Grandma would prune the old branches, which encourages the plant to grow more succulent new shoots. A little trick she used was planting tree collards next to marigolds. The bright orange color and scent of the flowers didn't just beautify the garden, they also chased away cabbage moths and attracted helpful insects. With plenty of calcium and iron, this vegetable is a great nutritional boost for health. Tree collards aren't just food. With their grand stature, they act like a green fence protecting and bringing eternal life to Grandma's old self-sufficient garden. Malabar spinach. When the harsh summer sun burns up the delicate spinach beds, Malabar spinach reaches out strongly like a lush green curtain protecting the garden. This is a tropical climbing plant with shiny, thick, and vibrant green leaves. My grandmother loved this vegetable because it never missed an appointment. No matter how tough the weather, it stayed green all year in warm climates. The most magical thing about Malabar spinach is its ability to seed itself naturally. When autumn passes, the fallen seeds wait quietly in the dirt and wake up on their own as soon as the first warm rays of spring return. This self-renewing habit gave Grandma's family a permanent source of greens without spending a penny on seeds or effort on replanting. To create a supportive ecosystem, Grandma often planted Malabar spinach next to beans or peppers. The climbing vines provided gentle shade, kept the soil moist, and helped its companion plants grow better. Malabar spinach is rich in iron and antioxidants, making it an essential part of soups and stir-fries, bringing freshness and nutrition to family meals for decades. Soaking roots before planting ginger. Ginger has long been seen as the golden spice in farmhouse kitchens, but growing it isn't as easy as many people think. Ginger is very picky. The soil must be loose, moist, but well-draining, and it needs steady shade. If planted wrong, the rhizomes can rot or sprout slowly. That's why, before planting, grandmothers used to soak the rhizomes in warm water for a few hours to wake up the buds. This small step helps the roots start working harder and significantly increases the chance of sprouting. When planted correctly, ginger grows steadily after a few weeks, and you can usually harvest the first young ginger after 4 to 5 months. If you want fully mature ginger, the ideal time is 8 to 10 months. What's special is that you don't need to pull up the whole clump. Grandparents usually just dug up a piece from the edge and then covered it back up with soil so the rest of the root could keep spreading underground. If the ground stays moist and well tended, a ginger patch can provide a harvest for many years, becoming a long-term spice source in the garden. Homegrown ginger always has a bold, spicy kick, a powerful healing quality that strengthens the family's health through all the rainy and sunny seasons. Asparagus. Let's start with a planting project that isn't for the impatient. In the minds of our grandparents, asparagus was the king of all plants. It doesn't give you results right away. You have to tend to it for a year or even 2 to 3 years. But if you take care of it properly, you can enjoy the fruits of your labor for up to 20 years. Every spring, those crisp, sweet green spears bravely poke through the soil, bringing a breath of new life without needing any help. The magic of this plant lies in its incredibly tough root system, which can reach down 10 feet into the earth to gather every precious drop of minerals. This helps them stand strong through neglect or the harshest times for over 2 decades. With just a 40-foot row of asparagus, a family can harvest nearly 660 pounds throughout the plant's lifespan. To keep the spears plump and full of life, grandmothers often shared a little tip. Add a bit of manure or seaweed in early spring as a way to thank the earth for nourishing the plants. When you taste homegrown asparagus, you'll notice a rich flavor and much higher nutrition than those bland bundles in the supermarket. Asparagus can provide food for your grandchildren one day, so can you be the one to work hard in those first few years? Rhubarb. If there's one plant that represents time-defying resilience in Grandma's garden, it has to be rhubarb. With its giant green leaves covering the ground and deep red stalks that have a signature tart flavor, rhubarb always held a bold, proud spot in the corner of the garden. Unlike asparagus, rhubarb gives you a harvest much faster, usually by the 2nd year. But when it comes to being immortal, nothing beats it. Once you put this plant in the ground, you can leisurely harvest those juicy stalks for the next 50 years without ever worrying about replanting. After the 3rd year, once the roots have truly settled into the soil, rhubarb barely needs a human hand. Every season, it quietly offers 4 to 11 pounds of stalks for the family's warm jams and pies. Grandma used to plant rhubarb near chives or garlic, a smart companion, planting trick to chase away aphids and beetles completely naturally. With plenty of vitamins hidden in every fiber, rhubarb isn't just food. It's a bridge connecting generations through recipes passed down forever. Egyptian walking onion. Egyptian walking onion is a name that sounds like a legend, and in reality, this plant has a personality unlike any ordinary onion you've ever known. They are the symbol of a self-moving garden, where humans are more like observers than laborers. Instead of just hiding bulbs underground, this unique plant grows clusters of bulbs right at the top of its stalks. When these bulbs get heavy enough, they pull the stalk down to the ground. At that spot, the onion takes root and starts a new life. In this way, they walk across the garden, expanding their territory without any help from us. With this onion, you get a real abundance with 3 different harvests: the mild green leaves for tasty stir-fries, the small bulbs on top for crispy frying or soups, and the solid bulbs underground for pickling. Which dish do you like most made from these walking onions? Please let us know in the comments below. A little tip from grandmothers is to plant them near carrots to ward off carrot flies and root maggots, creating a community of plants that support each other. Jerusalem artichoke. In a world of modern farming that loves control, the Jerusalem artichoke might make people a bit nervous because it's just so successful and strong. Above ground, they show off bright beauty with yellow flowers like little suns, but the real treasure is hidden deep below with crispy, sweet tubers that have a distinct, nutty taste. The survival skill of the Jerusalem artichoke is amazing. Science has shown they can produce tons per acre without a drop of irrigation or any care. Many people underestimate this tuber, but once you plant it, you'll never have to do it again. You just harvest what you need, leave what's necessary, and let it sprout itself for the next season. These tubers are especially high in inulin, a great natural way to help stabilize blood sugar, making them a perfect potato substitute for health-conscious folks. To protect these gems under the ground, Grandma often planted them next to mint or garlic chives to keep aphids away naturally. When you plant Jerusalem artichokes, you're bringing a self-operating, sturdy, and generous food factory into your garden. Horseradish. There are some plants that, once they take root, will stay with you like a lifelong friend, and horseradish is one such brave warrior. With its thick, strong roots, horseradish carries a fiery, pungent kick that can wake up all your senses from the very first taste. The life force of this plant is unbelievably intense. Even a tiny piece of root left in the soil is enough for it to come back to life and grow into a proud new plant. Horseradish seems to defy neglect and even the harshest frosts, quietly growing as it waits for harvest day. A valuable piece of experience is to plant horseradish near your potato beds, as their presence not only helps the potatoes grow better, but also acts as a shield against pests. Not just a powerful spice, horseradish is also full of vitamins that support the respiratory and digestive systems for the whole family. If these secrets are sparking a passion for gardening in you, don't forget to hit hype so we can preserve these precious green legacies together. Arrowroot. If you grew up eating white porridge or smooth starch mixed with honey, that was the result of Grandma's hard work in her arrowroot garden. This is one of the tropical plants my grandmother truly cherished, calling it the quiet soil restorer. You only need to plant it once, and the rhizomes underground will keep multiplying, expanding, and lasting through many seasons. Hidden beneath those lush green leaves is a system of smooth white rhizomes, the precious ingredient used to make the finest, silkiest flour. When harvesting, she only took what she needed and always carefully left a few small pieces of root in the ground. Because of that, the arrowroot was sure to grow back even stronger the next year, creating an endless harvest cycle without replanting. The plant grows well in both damp and shady spots, helping Grandma make use of garden corners that were otherwise hard to farm. To create a supporting ecosystem, she often planted arrowroot next to turmeric or ginger. This combination didn't just help the plant share moisture, but also naturally prevented root rot. The arrowroot flour Grandma made by hand was gluten-free, extremely easy to digest, and a great source of nutrition for both the elderly and children. Moreover, its strong root system helped loosen up compacted soil, bringing air back to the garden beds. To Grandma, arrowroot was a symbol of quiet generosity from Mother Earth. Goji berries. Many people have to spend a lot of money to buy goji berries in health food stores, but not my grandmother. She hand-raised hardy goji berry bushes right in her backyard. She used to say, "Why buy them when we can plant once and harvest them forever?" Goji berries are very resilient and easy-going bushes, perfect even for gardening beginners. Those vibrant red-orange berries with their rich, sweet taste are available every season without any replanting needed. That intense life force made goji berries one of the most reliable perennials in the garden. However, Grandma also had a small tip. Pay attention to spacing when planting, because goji berries need enough room to spread their branches and grow into a grand, majestic bush over time. Homegrown goji berries have a very high antioxidant content, making them a great nutritional source for eye health and the family's immune system. To Grandma, planting goji berries wasn't just about food, it was a smart investment in long-term health, proof that abundance is always within reach if we know how to build from the roots up. Elderberry. Elderberry in Grandma's garden wasn't just a fruit tree, it was truly a power plant and a natural medicine cabinet for the whole family. This sturdy shrub has a pure beauty, with clusters of fragrant white flowers and deep purple berries that ripen in late summer. Grandma often reminded us that once an elderberry has taken root, it can live and provide a harvest for decades with almost no human care. The plant loves the sun, but can still grow well in shady corners and damp soil, giving great flexibility to the garden space. Every summer, she would harvest the flowers to make tea and the berries for an immune-boosting syrup. However, she always gave a very important warning. Always cook the berries and leaves before using them to remove natural compounds that can upset the stomach. This is a famous Amish folk remedy to fight colds and flu and boost resistance naturally. To Grandma, the elderberry was a symbol of protection and care, a lasting green legacy that brought beauty, food, and health to the family year after year without any cost. Have you found a plant that fits your dream garden yet? Tell me your plans for a free garden in the comments. Okinawan spinach. With leaves that have contrasting colors of deep green and dark purple, this is the eternal secret that creates a vibrant and mystical ground cover from Okinawa. A true perennial, Okinawan spinach grows all year in warm climates and spreads quickly like a living carpet over the earth. It barely asks for any fancy care. Just a bit of moisture and shade is enough for the plant to grow vigorously and be ready for daily harvest. The natural growth habit helps Okinawan spinach bounce back easily after rain, providing a permanent source of greens for Grandma's kitchen. To protect the plant from pests, she often planted it near lemongrass bushes. The strong scent of lemongrass oil not only kept bugs away, but also made the soil more fragrant and full of life. Okinawan spinach is full of antioxidants and fiber, an important part of a diet that boosts immunity and keeps you flexible. To Grandma, every purple-tinged sprig wasn't just food, it was a connection to ancient wisdom about health and the sustainable abundance of Mother Earth, where we only need to plant once and enjoy forever. Moringa, or as Grandma called it, the miracle tree. It really is nature's ultimate solution for nutritional abundance without much work. This is a tree with a lightning-fast growth rate. In just one season, it can reach over 10 feet tall. What amazed Grandma most was that every part of the tree, from the leaves and pods to the seeds, is nutrient-rich and usable. Moringa is a perennial with very tough roots, helping the tree survive through harsh droughts and scorching sun thanks to its great water-storing ability. Grandma used to say the more you prune it, the faster it grows and the more tender new leaves it produces. This strong self-renewing ability turns it into a permanent nutrition factory at home. To protect the tree and the space around it, she often planted moringa near basil. The scent of basil helps keep mosquitoes and leaf miners away. With extremely high levels of protein, iron, and vitamins, moringa is an ideal food to boost the family's energy. Through Grandma's hands, moringa wasn't just a tree, it was a symbol of food sovereignty, proof that nature is always ready to nourish us with the greatest generosity if we know how to understand and live together with it. If the secrets of Grandma's eternal garden make you feel excited and you want to build a bountiful space of your own, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Berries. Besides perennial vegetables, our grandparents' garden also had berry bushes that were planted only once but gave fruit for many years. These blackberries and raspberries aren't the kind of plants you have to resow every season. Once they take root, they become a permanent part of the garden, coming back stronger year after year. Every summer, from the same base planted years ago, new canes reach out, heavy with sweet berries full of vitamin C and antioxidants. What's special is that the older the bush gets, the more it produces, maintaining a steady harvest for over a decade if cared for properly. After each harvest season, Grandma just needed to prune away the old canes and keep the healthy shoots so the plant could renew itself the next year. Thanks to this self-regenerating cycle, a berry bush can last a very long time, almost becoming a sustainable fruit source for many generations. To keep them growing steadily over the years, she usually planted them along a sturdy trellis or support frame to keep the canes upright, getting enough sun and avoiding direct contact with damp ground. Because of this, these berry bushes aren't just simple fruit plants. They are like a perennial fruit pantry for the garden. Plant once, give them a little care each year, and in return get seasons of sweet fruit for years on end. Sorrel. Sorrel, or as some call it, acid greens, is a plant that brings a wake-up flavor to every dish in Grandma's kitchen thanks to its signature strong lemony zing. This is a perennial that always shows up earliest when spring knocks on the door, bringing a fresh green color full of life. My grandmother used to say sorrel is unkillable because its roots are so hardy, helping the plant grow back stronger after every cold winter. That ability to handle neglect and its magical self-renewal turned it into a permanent source of greens without needing to replant. While other annuals are still struggling to sprout, sorrel is already ready for the first harvests. To keep the plant growing in a controlled and healthy way, Grandma usually gave it its own separate corner in the garden because she knew this plant tends to spread very fast thanks to its strong will to live. Sorrel is extremely rich in vitamin C and antioxidants, making it a wonderful ingredient to brighten up the family soups, sauces, or salads. To Grandma, every sour, fresh sorrel leaf wasn't just food. It was a message from nature about the generosity and lasting life force that is always around us, if we only know how to appreciate and preserve it. Mint family. Grandma's garden would never be complete without the heavenly scents of the mint family, a group of herbs that defined the taste and smell of her kitchen. From mint, oregano, and thyme to rosemary and sage, these are all perennials that she only had to plant once to use for a lifetime. She used to say these plants only get richer in flavor as they grow, especially rosemary and sage, which can live for decades, growing into grand, majestic bushes in the garden. They ask for very little care but bring enormous value to both cooking and medicine. To control the sometimes aggressive spreading of mint, she often grew them in separate pots, a little tip to keep the garden tidy while still ensuring a bountiful herb supply. The presence of the mint family also helps attract helpful insects like bees and butterflies while chasing away pests from the surrounding plants. To Grandma, a hot cup of mint tea or a fragrant sprig of rosemary in a roast didn't just bring relaxation, it was proof of a self-sufficient garden where flavor and health are always present year after year from her own hands. Roselle. Roselle was always the most vibrant plant in Grandma's garden corner, thanks to its enchanting bright red calyxes against dark red stems. Grandma loved this plant not just for its beauty, but also for its special tart flavor and huge health benefits. Roselle acts like a perennial fruit tree with its ability to seed itself very easily. She would mention that the plant especially loves tropical heat and will come back stronger after each season if we know how to prune it properly. This self-renewing habit gave her a permanent source of ingredients for tea and soup without the work of replanting every year. To boost soil health and diversify flavors, she often planted Roselle alongside ginger or turmeric. This pairing not only created a rich soil ecosystem, but also helped the companion plants grow more sustainably. The vitamin C-rich Roselle calyxes are a great way to cool down in the summer, while its green leaves add a unique flavor to salads. To Grandma, Roselle wasn't just a plant, It was the brilliance of life and the kindness of Mother Earth, where beauty and abundance always go hand in hand in a long-term partnership. Bamboo shoots. Finally, on today's list is a perennial food source that is almost permanent. Planted just once, a bamboo clump can live and give shoots for decades, even a whole lifetime. Once the underground rhizome system is settled, they quietly spread, and every rainy season, they push up crisp, sweet young shoots. Year after year, the shoots keep coming up regularly without Grandma ever needing to replant or do complex care. Sometimes, she even had to harvest them frequently just to keep the bamboo from spreading too wide. It's that strong, enduring root system that helps the plant renew itself for years while also holding the soil firm and protecting the garden from erosion. To keep the garden lush and green for the long term, Grandma also had some very smart tips. She often planted bamboo near banana or ginger plants, where there was natural moisture and shade. Thanks to that, the shoots grew up softer, sweeter, and more plentiful each year with almost no extra intervention. Bamboo shoots, therefore, aren't just a great ingredient for stir-fries or soups. To Grandma, every season that shoots grew from that same old bamboo clump was a reminder that the garden can feed many generations. Brazilian spinach. Brazilian spinach in Grandma's garden was often called the hidden gem, a perfect solution for busy gardeners who still want plenty of greens. This is a perennial with curly green leaves that grows into a thick, beautiful ground cover. My grandmother loved this vegetable for its magical cut-and-come-again nature. It grows very fast, especially in hot, humid weather, and hardly needs any fancy care from human hands. Once you put this plant in the ground, you'll have greens to harvest all year for decades. To protect the vegetable from pests and boost the soil's nutrients, she often grew Brazilian spinach under the shade of ginger plants. This protection didn't just keep the soil clean, but also created a nutrient-rich environment for both to thrive. Brazilian spinach keeps an excellent crunch even after stir-frying or being in soup, and it's packed with essential minerals. To Grandma, every lush green carpet of Brazilian spinach wasn't just food, it was a statement about a relaxed but effective way of gardening, where nature's generosity always fills the family's vegetable basket every day. Taro. Taro, in my grandmother's mind, was always the perfect answer nature gave for sustainability and long-term food security. Those giant heart-shaped leaves reaching up like solar panels are quietly storing energy to create creamy, rich tubers underground. Grandma liked taro because it builds a very stable root system and comes back stronger and more plentiful after every season. What she especially cherished about this plant was its ability to thrive even in swampy or wet soil, where most other vegetables would fail. During harvest, she was always careful to leave small pieces of the tubers. They would automatically grow back infinitely without any planting effort from the family. To protect taro from pests, she often grew them near lemongrass or turmeric. The scent and properties of these companion plants helped naturally stop snails and root-rotting fungi. Taro is an important staple food, providing lasting energy for the body with almost zero maintenance cost. To Grandma, every taro plant was living proof of understanding the laws of the land to achieve independence and prosperity for generations. Winged bean. Winged bean always held a special place in Grandma's garden as a perfect realization of nature's promise. Every part of the plant can feed people. This strong vine produces crunchy, sweet, four-angled pods, but it doesn't stop there. The leaves, flowers, and even the tuberous roots are all full of plant protein. My grandmother highly valued the winged bean for its magical nitrogen-fixing ability, which makes the garden soil richer after every season instead of wearing it out like industrial crops do. The plant seeds itself very easily, ensuring an endless harvest year after year from one initial planting. To help winged beans grow their best, she often planted them next to tall corn. The beans climbing up the corn stalks didn't just save space, it also created a symbiotic relationship that naturally enriched the soil with nitrogen. Winged bean was the most comprehensive and abundant nutrient source she ever knew, bringing absolute peace of mind about food for the family. To Grandma, Every trellis heavy with winged beans wasn't just the result of work. It was a celebration of nature's wisdom, where life is constantly renewed and nourished without any chemical help. Cassava. In the toughest corners of the garden, cassava still stands tall as the ultimate symbol of survival and resilience. Grandma called this the survivor's plant because of its extraordinary ability to handle drought and poor soil. Planting cassava is so simple. She just needed to stick a piece of the stem into the ground and the plant would grow on its own without needing any fancy care. Cassava provides both starchy tubers and protein-rich green leaves, creating a living food reserve right under the ground that could wait for her to harvest at any time for months without spoiling. This intense life force made cassava an essential part of the family's self-sufficiency strategy. To make the most of space and nutrients, she often intercropped cassava with beans. This pairing naturally reduced weeds and improved soil fertility. Cassava is a self-contained crop, feeding the family for decades without needing any investment in fertilizers or chemicals. To Grandma, every cassava root wasn't just survival food. It was a reminder of the power of simplicity and faith in Mother Earth's ability to nourish us, even in the hardest conditions. While in other places, spring usually begins with the roar of tiller engines and the unpleasant strong smell of gasoline. At Amish farms, things happen much more slowly and quietly. There are no machines flipping the earth, no struggling with packed soil, and no backaches after every gardening session. These Amish grandmas have different secrets. Today, we're going back to Lancaster County to discover 25 Amish gardening tips that will help you build a garden full of life without ever having to dig the soil. The philosophy of no-dig gardening. The foundation of the Amish gardening philosophy begins with acknowledging that the soil is a very complex living entity, not just dirt under our feet. They believe that each time we use a tiller to flip the ground, we are performing a rough surgery on a delicate biological network of billions of microorganisms and mycorrhizal fungi, what is considered nature's internet, that helps transport nutrients to plant roots. Instead of destroying this structure, the no-dig method keeps the soil in its most intact state, allowing weed roots to decompose naturally and become a food source deep within the earth. The Amish use light-blocking layers like cardboard and thick organic compost to smother weeds right from the surface. This approach brings amazing results as the soil structure is fully protected, helping the ground hold moisture like a giant sponge. Real-world results show that no-dig garden patches can absorb water up to 300% better than beds that are constantly tilled, helping plants grow strong even during long, dry spells. That is the spirit of Gelassenheit in Amish gardening, a way of living slowly, accepting, and being in harmony with nature. And that philosophy will guide